You're watching this video because someone you love died in a nursing home or came out of a nursing home in a condition that nobody warned you was coming. And the question that you cannot get out of your head is, did they do this to her? Did the people who were supposed to protect her actually cause this? The nursing home has an answer to that question. I'm telling you, they always do. And the nursing home will say, she was old, she had significant underlying conditions, it was just her time. And maybe they're right, but I want to show you how to find out for yourself, because their answer and the true answer are not always the same thing. My name is David Terry, and I've spent 25 years handling nursing home abuse and neglect cases. And in this video, I'm going to give you the exact same test that I use in my own office when a family sits across from me and asks, do I have a case? And by the end of this video, you'll be able to run your own situation through that test and have a real answer. Not the facility's answer, but your answer. A nursing home case is built on 4 questions. It's not how tragic the outcome was, it's how clearly those 4 questions can be answered. Now let me walk you through them. Question 1, was there a duty for the nursing home? The moment a nursing home accepts your loved one as a resident, it takes on a legal duty to provide a reasonable standard of care for that resident. And when they accept your loved one in their facility, they're saying that they will provide the care the resident needs to meet their individual needs and to provide them with a safe environment. Now, most nursing homes, they'll admit that they agreed to this duty when they accepted the resident. Now, question 2, did they breach that duty? The law does not expect a nursing home to be perfect. It expects them to do what a reasonably careful facility would have done in the same situation. So the question isn't whether something bad happened, it's whether they failed to do something that they were specifically required to do to prevent that bad thing from happening. To determine breach of duty, we ask questions like this. Did they have a duty to reposition the resident every 2 hours to prevent bed sores? If yes, then did they do it? Or maybe another question. Did the nursing home have a duty to supervise the resident at meals because that resident had a swallowing problem? And if so, did they provide that supervision? Were they supposed to monitor the resident for a known fall risk? If yes, was the resident provided supervision or just left to their own devices? You see what that gap is? That gap between what they're supposed to do and what they actually did, that's what we lawyers call a breach. And if there's no breach of duty, then it will be tough, if not possible, to bring a legal case. Question 3, harm. Was there real, serious harm that happened to the resident as a result? Now, when we talk about harm, we are talking about things like a broken hip or a life-threatening infection, a serious bed sore that became infected. Or worst case scenario, did the breach of duty cause a resident's death? The law is built for real injury. There are cases where there's a breach of duty by the nursing home that resulted in injury, but the injury is just not severe enough to justify a legal case. And unfortunately, the way the law is, minor injury cases are just really difficult for lawyers to pursue, even when there is clear breach of duty by the nursing home. So when you're considering your potential legal case, you need to think about whether there is serious harm or death or just a minor injury. And if you aren't sure, call a lawyer that handles nursing home cases and get some advice. Question 4, and this one's crucial, causation. Causation means you have to connect the failure by the nursing home to the harm that happened to the resident. You have to connect those dots between what the nursing home did or didn't do to what happened to the resident. So in short, was there negligence that caused the bad result? What they did wrong has to have caused or contributed to cause the injury or the death. So let's say that the nursing home failed to reposition your mother the way that they were supposed to. That's a breach of their duty. And then let's say that your mother passed away. That's harm. But if she died of a sudden heart attack that had nothing to do with her skin care, then the breach and the harm, while they're both real, but they're not connected. That's not a case of wrongful death. Now, it may be a personal injury case, but it's not a wrongful death case because we can't connect those dots from the breach of duty to the resident's death. Now let's flip that. Let's say that they failed to reposition her. She developed a deep pressure wound that got infected, and that infection entered her bloodstream, and she developed sepsis, and that is what caused her to die. Now we can connect those dots between the nursing home's failure and the resident's death. That is causation. In nearly every call that I have with the new clients, those are the dots that I'm trying to connect while I'm talking to them on the phone. So how do we figure some of this out? Well, we start with the nursing home records. Now, don't be swayed by what the facility told you. I've told you in previous videos, nursing homes are masters at covering up their own backsides. President Reagan said about the Soviet Union, trust but verify. Well, I say, with respect to nursing homes, don't trust them and always verify. And I always start with the care plan. The care plan shows, or it should show if they did it properly, which is never guaranteed, but the care plan should show specifically what duties they were supposed to do for your loved one. The nursing notes show what they actually did or didn't do. Oftentimes, there are blank spaces where they wrote nothing down when they should have been documenting the care that they were supposed to be doing. So when I get a nursing home chart, the first two things that I look at are the care plans and the nursing notes. I want to see what they were supposed to do, that's their duty, and what they actually did. While each state is a little different, in general, certain family members will have the legal right to your loved one's complete medical records. Request them in writing with the proper required documentation. Don't let these nursing homes get away with not giving you everything. They try to do that more often than not. That's part of them trying to cover their backside. And if a facility drags its feet producing those records, don't hesitate to report them to the state agency that oversees nursing homes in your state. I do that regularly. Now let's talk about deadlines. And I have to say this clearly because I've seen it cost families legitimate cases in the past. There are deadlines in every state for these types of cases. Now each state is different. Some states have deadlines that are as short as 1 year, while other states have a deadline which is called a statute of limitations that extends maybe to 3 years or more maybe. When that deadline passes, it's over. It does not matter how strong your case is. The door permanently closes if you miss that statute of limitations. Now, what I'm telling you is this: don't be passive. If you think your loved one suffered a serious injury or died from nursing home abuse and neglect, act right away. Now, if you aren't sure what the deadlines are in your state, call a lawyer who handles nursing home cases. They'll tell you. If you're in a position of having a loved one who has recently suffered a serious injury or death, here's what I would tell you to do in order. First, get the records, the complete records. That includes the care plans, the nursing notes, something called the minimum data set, everything. You want everything. And I would also encourage you to get the hospital records for the relevant time period. And by the way, if the hospital took photographs, ask for color copies of those photographs. If you don't specify color copies, you'll get black and white pictures that just don't help you at all. Second, consider what we just talked about regarding duty. Did the facility have a duty to do XYZ? From the records that you get, can you tell if that duty was accomplished? If not, did their failure cause the injury or death? Now look, I understand that for most people, this is going to be kind of hard, if not impossible for you to do on your own because you haven't been doing this for 25 years like I've been. The smart thing to do though is to contact a lawyer in your area who handles these types of cases. That call is almost certainly free. It certainly is in my office. And you don't have to sign anything. You don't have to commit to a lawsuit when you contact a lawyer. You're just asking questions. If you do decide to move forward with the legal case, know that these cases are typically handled on contingency fee, meaning if there's no recovery, then you owe nothing. The lawyer only gets paid when there's a successful recovery. If your loved one was harmed in a nursing home in Missouri or Illinois, you can call me directly at 314-878-9797. The call is free, and I'll tell you honestly what I see just from our conversation. Now, if you're elsewhere in the country, you can also call me and I can help you find a lawyer in your area. In the 25 years that I've been handling these cases, I've developed a pretty extensive network of lawyers in this field, and I'm happy to connect you with someone. Now look, in my next video, I break down one of the most common ways these cases start. A nursing home death that gets written off as just pneumonia, that's one of those things worth watching. So go look for that video, and I'll see you over there.